Hello, everyone. Corrie Thorne, coming in to do this is supposed to be the weekly. I recorded this 2 days ago and it didn't get, it had no sound. So I've been kind of sitting in a pouty mode about it. But so this is for the week of May the 9th, 10th, but it's also going to follow into the weekend. So this will be a whole collective energy report for the rest of the week and into the weekend of May the 10th, 9th, 10th, and all the way through until the 15th. And of course, it will expand into the rest of May as well. So there is we still have some of this retrograde energy happening, and Mercury is in retrograde. And we're still feeling some of those effects of those things. I feel like there's a breakthrough coming through by about the 15th. So, by the end of the weekend, you may start feeling the, if you have this, if Mercury is in your chart or wherever it sits in your chart, but there is some shifts and change with that Mercury energy that is coming in now. I really wanted to bring in nothing but like joy and happiness and give nothing but the greatest news ever. But it is not all the greatest news ever. Yet we have a lot of energy. And it's energy that we can eat, that we can utilize. It's energy that we can use to benefit us. We can use it in so many ways. And so it is like just working. It's like working with fire, even though it's not a fire season, even though this is Taurus that we're in. And Taurus is very earthly. And if you're in Alberta, of course, we are experiencing a lot of fires right now. And then other areas are getting tornadoes. So all of the weather patterns are all in extremes right now. We have a lot of extreme. And so there is a lot of extreme energy out there as well. So there's a lot of extreme ups and downs. So riding the waves. You may be on top of the world one day and on the low to the next day, and trying to find that balance. And this month is about finding that balance. And also about knowing there is some beautiful things blended into this, and it gives us beautiful opportunities. And one of the things that I was speaking of, I'm not sure if it was in the recording that just got recorded or the one before, and I was speaking of, if you know how to surf, you could ride the waves, right? If you don't know how to surf, you're probably going to get trapped underneath the waves. And so it's learning how to surf. It's learning how to ride the waves of the energy, and that's using discernment and wondering, is this my energy? Is this somebody else's? Is this the world's energy? What's happening today? And not what's going on with me today, but what's happening today? What am I feeling today? What am I picking up today? So be observant, really, truly be observant. Engage in this a little bit farther. Now, I keep seeing this dark matter, and I keep seeing this like webs of, like, it looks like webs, but it's moving, of dark matter. And I keep seeing this like moving through. And when I get in close to it, it's like it's light. It's light, but how it is moving, it's appearing dark. But it's not really darkness. It's just how it is moving, it appears dark. And so sometimes things are not as they seem to be. So you may be reading, you could be reading this as being darkness is coming in, but it is, how dark disguises itself as light with Jezebel. How Jezebel disguises herself as this light energy, but it is imposter light. And it has so invaded our world, our universe right now. And so if you've not heard of Jezebel, go back through some of my readings, go back through some of my charts. And she is that of, that appears absolutely beautiful, that which appears good for you, that which is going to give you the best life, but yet it is manipulation. Yet it is imitation light. It is not good energy. And so, and that often plays out in our minds, right? We have the heaven and hell. The space between heaven and hell exists within us. And there's the place in between where we can stop and really truly look at this in a deeper way, because we can turn best friends into enemies. We can turn those that we love into the worst, biggest monsters in the world. And all it takes is one energy that's existing within you that then becomes the story, the narrative that you tell yourself. You could hear one thing wrong. You could get one part of a story wrong, and you could totally turn somebody into something they're not. Like it is so big right now. And it has such a unhealthy power to it. And and catching it and seeing it, it's like, oh, that's what and it's like, it can lead to frustration. And I have seen the divine energy get really, really love angry. And so this dark matter that I'm seeing feels like it is love anger that is coming in with a vengeance to open up the hearts, the eyes, the minds of people, so that we can start to see things differently, so that we can start to see things in a new light. But because it's being rejected, because real light, like true light, is being rejected and being replaced with artificial, is that it seems so enticing. It can do everything for you. It can give you the best life. It's like, here you go. Here's the dangling carrot. Here is the solution to all of your problems. Here you go. You can have it. It's right here for you. It's the same thing with the ultimate narcissist. It is the same thing with that ultimate master manipulator. It's the same archetypal energy, and it is created from the archetype of energy that exists in humans, that humans have taken from their unresolved, unhealed, unreleased energy, trauma that exists that becomes a narrative to the story, and it creates like the mad scientist. And so the alchemy, the alchemy of how we can create and move and shift energy can also be used in reverse. So light, somebody can learn all about working with the light, working with angel magic, working with all of the beautiful things, and can then spin it based on what they are telling themselves in their minds of how the world is not nice, people are not nice, there's not good people, and then they can turn it around, right? And so be very aware of this energy. It is everywhere, but the dark matter that I'm seeing, and when I first seen it, I'm like, oh, is this something more that's coming in that is not good? But it's actually not. And I'm like, so there is some big, oh crap, there is some big stuff coming down. And I mean, big, big things that are going to be happening. And I don't know exactly what they are yet, but I'm like, we're going to see holy shit kind of happening. And we're going to experience that holy shit kind of experiences. Now bring that into self. So bring that into, scale this down now. Scale this down to you. Scale this down to yourself. You may see holy shit and see people make changes in their lives that you never thought they would ever make. You may see people make choices and decisions that you never thought they would make. You may have been talking till you're blue in the face to somebody about getting healthy, about healing unhealed things, about getting clean, about all of those things. And you've never been able to get them to go there, to go to that place. And then all of a sudden they're like they're doing it. And it's because everyone has free will. And we have to make the choices ourselves, and we have to choose. So if we're going to choose, if people have the courage to make really big, bold choices and decisions like this, then we also have to make really big, bold choices to change our perception, to open up our ears and our mind, and to ask, get things clarified. It is very important this week, this whole month. If you don't fully understand it, if you don't fully get it clarified. Have it clarified before you allow it to become a dark matter, before you allow it to become a new festering story, before you create a new character to play a new story, so that we can collapse the stories. There's a lot of stories being collapsed. There's a lot of old energy. And as we've just come through, and I haven't had nothing, like it would not let me record the monthly the way that it should. I had to share my stories, and so it was just like there was nothing really happening that for us, but there was a lot happening. And there is a lot that's happening. And as we've just bared witness to, like, the coronation of this crowning of a new king, it is a crowning moment, right? And whether we agree, we disagree, whether we like it, we don't like it, not here to judge that, because that's not what we do in energy. We don't judge it. We just, it's happening. We experience it. We're in the experience of it. We don't get to do that. But it also then opens up these bridges and these gates. And so these new alliances are being made. These new shifts and changes are being made. And so many things are happening. So within ourselves, bringing it back into us, it is the fact of, it's not about often switching sides, changing stories. It's about getting in the middle. And back when all of this, with all that happened, when we went into lockdown, all of those things, I couldn't preach this enough. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. Get in the middle. Why do you have to choose a side? Why do you have to go that extreme or this extreme? It's about balance. It's about saying, you know what? I don't know the whole story. I don't know everything. And I don't have it all figured out. And I don't want to get myself trapped in the stories that are over here or over there. And I don't want to be labeled as that. And I don't want to have that as here I can be true to me. And when you can get to this middle place and find this truth within yourself, you can be true to you. You can start to, and Taurus energy. And I'm like, I just see my little granddaughter walking around, and she's turning a year old right away here. And I see the stability in her, how she walks, how she moves. And even when they tell her, like, like the older kids say, you can't play with us, she's like, oh, really? Watch me. And she just puts herself in position, and she just places her presence into the now, into whatever is happening and wherever that is. And she's got this middle ground energy, which means this whole core center. She's living from her center. She's living from her soul. She's living from that connection to our divine tube of where, like, our equilibrium exists within us, right? It's like this place right here where we can stop and pause and say, do I really want to chase that carrot? Why would I chase one carrot when over here I can plant the seeds and place a whole garden of my own carrots, and they're mine? Why do I shut down? So the one part of ourselves that we've been given, that, that we fought so hard for, is our ability to be able to be authentic and to be creative and to be imperfect. And a whole part of the awakening of the human was to accept those imperfections. Yet over here, we're being sold perfection, and we're being brought into it. And so the most beautiful, powerful of energy is able to be deceived sometimes. And not saying that it's not all somewhat good for us. Not going there, not getting into that conversation. What we're saying is that we have to really look at this and what we're looking to achieve from this, and who we're looking to be from this, because we live and exist in a world full of shadows. And so everyone that I speak to is wearing a mask, playing a role, and is in the shadows. And until you start to remove the mask, peel back the layers, recognize the essence of the shadow, which is not a bad thing. It's about integration. But the truest of self, most people have no idea they're not who they're meant, that they're not themselves. They have no idea that they are not their true selves. You think into creation who you are, and you believe that to be your truth. And even if it is crippling to you, even if it leads you down every wrong path, you often will hang on to the narratives and the stories instead of breaking free of them. And this energy is really, truly, we're at a turning point. We are at a point of where we're going to see pivots happening, and we're going to see energy pivot. And on the 5th of this month, the 5th of May, we had a portal energy, and it is a portal of transformation. And so what gets transformed gets transmuted, right? What gets transformed gets transmuted. And so what we can acknowledge within ourselves, what we can see, what we can bear witness to the experience within another, we can use it as an opportunity to transform. So to transform and then transmute that energy back to love. And so this is our time to start to get in the middle. And in the middle is where we find our way back to love. It is where we return to the power of love. It is where we return to using love as a way to move forward. It's also in a way of where we stop being so judgmental, and we're learning the power of, on a bigger scale and the human level, learning the power of the heart intelligence. And as spiritual teachers, as leaders, we have been working with heart intelligence for a very long time. It's not new to us, but it was always taught as like, you can't live by your heart. You can't trust your heart. You can't be an artist. You can't be this. You can't live that way. You got to do this. You got to do that. And it's like, so you lose you. You can't be an actress. That's just stupid. You got to do something. You got to do something serious with your life. So half of the people that were told that they had to, that who and what they wanted to be was stupid, weird, odd. How many of those people couldn't make it? How many of those people couldn't make it in the structural world that was created? How many people have lost their way? How many people that never got to blossom or bloom because everything that made them is sensitive, everything that made them that was, that was the glisten and glow and the shine and the sparkle in them. How many people got that sparkle taken out? How many people got that dream removed from them? How many people got that imperfection, but that knowing dissolved, broken down, whipped away with words, emotional abuse, with those things? And yet, when they're not able to live in their light, when their light is now dull and their light is pretty much non-existent or not existent at all, they look for somebody else to blame, right? And so, and it's not saying that anyone knew any better. It was what we knew. It's all that we knew. All that we knew was that we had to get into survival mode and we had to survive. And so that's that need to survive, that need to have to get out in the world. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to be this, you got to lose all of who you are to step into becoming someone who can simply just exist, to survive. So don't trust your gut, don't trust your heart, don't trust your imagination, don't trust anything. Trust my words, because look at my life. Look at, right, this is your life. But yet that same person, if they were so happy and sparkling, shiny, wouldn't your life reflect that? Wouldn't everything in your life reflect that? You wouldn't be seeking outside of yourself. So as a society, as a world, we only knew what we knew. And that goes all the way back to our parents, to the generations before us, to all that walked, we knew only what we knew at the time. So the wisdom the wisdom that we had for, 100 years ago, yeah, it was beautiful wisdom, but it is wisdom that has now evolved and grown. And everything that we need is within us. And to be able to trust that, to see it. And that's where you're going to see, miraculous experiences and moments happening in people of when they just find they reconnect to that spark. It's like someone gave them a new spark plug and they've reconnected, and their motor's now running. Their motivation is running from their heart, from their truth, and not from their shadow, not from everything that F you, I'm going to prove to you. Oh, I got to be in the limelight. I got to chase this. I got to do that. You're going to see a lot of people that were in false light fall from false light. You're going to see that energy. You're going to see that shift. And so this weekend's energy, or this week's energy, is like a teeter-totter, is that we're still teetering and tottering back and forth in the energy. And it's about finding that sense of balance and that sense of being right here in the middle. And this also exposes things. It exposes people. And we don't want people to be exposed and to be point fingers at them and laugh at them, or to, everyone has a past. Everyone has gone to a place where maybe they didn't know better in another time, another day. Why do we still try to crucify anybody? What is that game about? Right. And so looking at it from that way is like, why do we cheer that on? If we don't want it done onto us, Why would we cheer it about in anyone? And I mean anyone. If we want to remove those false lights and that false truths, we have to really, truly look at things from a new perspective. And that includes our personal relationships. It includes our work relationships. It includes the relationship that we have with ourselves and with our souls. And so this energy is here to project. It appears, like I said, it appears dark. It is just moving. It feels like it's like kind of looks like it's moving in reverse, but it is kind of, I feel like it's like a vacuum. So it's like that of the hose of Archangel Michael. And it is using the vacuum. So the light is literally like pulling, sucking back that energy and just clearing the way, clearing the space. So there's a lot of strength and courage that's being activating outside of ourselves to give us the strength and the courage that we need to do the things, to do the big things, to do the right things, to truly be able to be solid and sturdy and grounded and rooted and make choices that we have feared making because we fear change, or we fear, the sides, or we keep trying to get the absolute right answer. There is no real right answer. There's just a choice, and we have to make choices and we have to choose. And when we choose to do specific things, is we make big, bold moves in the world. We will see big, bold changes. But in big, bold changes, we also exist in those collapses and those energy shifts. And so we do have a lot of that that's still going on, a lot that's happening. And I could talk forever about this. But this is for this weekend. There is so much more to come. There's so much more that's happening. And so expect the unexpected. Really, truly expect the unexpected. You may, like I said, and you may see this divulging of things just like coming. I just keep hearing the statement. If you're someone who feel like you've just took somebody down, like you've just conquered somebody, don't crow too loud, because there's more to the story. And I feel like there may be, I don't know. I'm like, be aware. Don't boast and be so bold with cheering on any sense that you conquered or overcome, like those things, because there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of self-healing to be done. Once we make choices and decisions, it is just the beginning, and it's the beginning of things that are unfolding. And so with this is also brings in, I just keep seeing a lot of Death Stars. I keep seeing a lot of Death Stars, old stars that are dying and being replaced with new stars, with endings. There's, when one soul returns home, another soul is coming in. My grandmother used to always say that when somebody would pass, she would say, she'd say, here's, this one's passed, a new one has just arrived. A new one just came. With everyone that passed, there's a new one coming in. And that's what it feels like. There is definitely that experience of that. I'm feeling of that, but I'm also feeling the spirit of those that didn't get to sparkle and shine because they believe that, like this beautiful, powerful loved ones on the other side that are just like here, not in judgment, but just saying, stop doing that. Stop doing that on a world scale. Stop stifling the life out of, stop doing that. But also, like I said, the big thing is to be aware of the dangling carrot that's going to give you the most perfect, the most beautiful life. Careful what you chase, right? And be very aware of what the motive is behind everything that is happening when it comes to getting you to chase the carrot. If it's offering you the world in such a way that it doesn't once mention that, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be things, but you can have it all right now. What are you sacrificing? What price are you paying to have it all right now? You know that saying, sell your soul, right? And who are you selling your soul to, right? It can leave us in a place of where there's, once again, it just appears as if you can be all of yourself. And here you are, it's all right there, but it's no different than the systematic that is shutting you down, that you felt was putting you in a box over here. You're just hopping in another box because you're seeking the comforts. You're seeking the work to be done for you. Be aware. You're going from one box to another box. There is a free world, a free land. There is freedom that exists in this middle world, in this middle space. And it is ours to live. And it is ours to embrace the experiences and the journey of self-discovery, self-awareness, and learning the power of being able to know that this earth is our earth, and we can plant our seeds, and we can grow, and we can expand, and we got a lot to learn from Mother Nature. So that's our message, and I hope it resonates with you. And if not, listen to it again. Maybe a year down the road, you'll come back and listen to this again. Much love. Have a beautiful weekend. And I do have more videos that'll be coming out. I will be putting a live on sometime today here. This is Wednesday on the 10th. So there will also be a live that will be there, and you can watch the replay if you don't catch it, because I'll talk some more about the energies, and I'll add in the oracle of the cards to go with it. I'll be giving the cards in the live. So if you want to catch the cards that will go with this message, it'll be just like so it's an expansion. So an extended version. So the extended of this will be in the live, where I will give the cards, the oracle cards. So watch for that video as well. Even if it's the replay, it'll still resonate with you. Much love. See you soon.